Hi everybody. This lesson is for 421, Tuesday. If you learned to solve basic trig equations yesterday, then the only difference is that in the parentheses it's going to say like 3 theta or 4 theta or 2 theta or theta over 2. It's not going to just be theta. It's going to be a little bit different. So it says, solve the equation sine theta equals -1. And if you think about the unit circle, sine is -1 down here. And what angle is that in radians? 3 pi over 2, 270 degrees, 3 pi over 2. Because of the periodicity of the sine function, the general formula is 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi k, where k is an element of the integers. So what you do is you find the angle or angles that make it true. Then you add plus 2 pi k, where k is an element of the integers. And then how would you get theta if you have 3 theta? What do you do if you have 3 theta? How do you get theta? Well, you divide by 3. So what's 3 pi over 2 divided by 3? Pi over 2. And what's 2 pi divided by 3? 2 pi over 3k, where k is an element of the integers. That's the general formula. General formula is the one that has plus something k, where k is an element of the integers. So over here, if we're going to find some of the solutions, it says between 0 and 2 pi. The answer's around the unit circle one time. Theta is pi over 2, and then we're going to add 2 pi over 3 to it. So pi over 2 plus 2 pi over 3. What's the common denominator? 6. So this is 3 pi over 6 multiplying by 3 over 3. And this is 4 pi over 6. So when you add them together, you get, they like it in set notation, 7 pi over 6. And then you add another 4 pi over 6, you get 11 pi over 6. And if you added another 4 pi over 6, you get 15 pi over 6, which is more than 2 pi. So we're going to do some problems on another sheet of paper. So you get more practice. The book only gives one example. So we're going to do A and B. So cosine of 4 theta equals rad 3 over 2. So you ignore the 4 for right now, and we just want to know, when is cosine equal to rad 3 over 2? Well, cosine is the long x. Rad 3 over 2 is the long x. So this is pi over 6, and this is pi over 6, or 11 pi over 6 if you go all the way around. So 4 theta, not theta, equals pi over 6, or 11 pi over 6, plus 2 pi k, where k is the element of z. That's the general form. Because all the coterminal angles going around one more time, and one more time, and one more time, and one more time, they all end up at the same place, going around one more time. So going plus 2 pi k. And then we divide by 4. So theta equals pi over 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 pi over 4 is pi over 2k, where k is an element of the integers. And then for this one, it's 11 pi over 24 with pi over 2k, where k is an element of the integers. And now theta equals between 0 and 2 pi. It's pi over 24 is the first one, and now let's add pi over 2 to it. So pi over 24 plus 12 pi over 24. Do you guys agree that that's pi over 2? It reduces to 1/2. So that's 13 pi over 24. We just don't want to get higher than 48 pi over 24 because that would be 2 pi. If we add 12 pi, again, you get 25 pi over 24. And you get 37 pi over 24. And next would be 49, which is more than 48, more than 2 pi. Then we have 11 pi over 24. Add 12 pi to it. We get 23 pi over 24. And then add 12 pi to it, 35 pi over 24. And 47 pi over 24, which is just under 48 pi over 24, which is 2 pi. The next one is sine of theta over 2 equals square root of 3 over 2. So this one is over 2. You can have it divided by a number or multiplied by a number. So we're going to do theta over 2 equals, and we're going to have 2 answers. When is the sine rad 3 over 2? That's the y value, and that's going up, and it's the long one. So this is pi over 3, and this is 2 pi over 3. On the unit circle right here, if this is pi over 3 and this is pi, pi minus pi over 3 is 2 pi over 3. Plus 2 pi k, where k is an element of the integers. Plus 2 pi k, where k is an element of the integers. And then, how do you get rid of a over 2? You multiply by 2. So this is going to be 2 pi over 3 plus 4 pi k. K is not an integer. So if 2 pi over 3 is a solution, if you add 4 pi over k, it's too big because it's more than 2 pi. And then multiply this by 2, 4 pi over 3. 4 pi over 3 plus 4 pi k, where k is an element of integers. This is within the bounds between 0 and 2 pi, but anything adding 4 pi over k is too much, so that's the answer. So these are the general forms, and this is the interval form between 0 and 2 pi. So what your homework is going to be number 98, page 466, 27 to 32. And that's due tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And then we'll have another assignment on Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.